Hello once again everyone, Original Blood Ice here doing another video, and this one is on the Xbox One. I was on GameSpot's forums when I came across this article here. Would you ditch the Kinect if it means more power? Now right off the bat all I could think was, oh my god, you stupid Xbox, and even Sony people, but what is with people and fucking power? Ugh, you don't even have your Xbox One in your hand yet, which is more powerful than your 360, and you're already talking about wanting more power. Now, as you can see from this guy's freaking gamer picture, it reflects quite easily the average Xbox fan. But let's just get into what he says here. So apparently the Kinect is causing developers some trouble. The Xbox One reserves some of its power for the Kinect. Oh, and by the way, the Kinect is not the issue of, it's not lack of power that's the issue. It's having 3 separate operating systems. At least that's part of it anyway. Anyway, I believe it's 10%. This means that they can't access the Xbox One's full power potential. First of all, let's cut you off right there. Not a single fucking developer, not a single fucking launch game ever reaches full power of the system at launch. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what game you make. You will never have a launch system or a launch game at the full power of the system. It just will not happen. Anyway, and this causes games to run at a lower resolution and or frame rate than what the developers intended. Now you're just trying to put words in people's mouths. A developer does not all developers are graphics whores and power whores like you. Not all developers want 1080p, 60 frames per second, cram in those power and specs. Not even close. Maybe, well, all developers under Microsoft and all developers under Sony, I could see, are all about the power and graphics. But third-party and indie games, or indie developers, no, not even close. Anyway, this guy says, I was one who was actually very excited about the TV and multimedia features that the Xbox One offered. Funny. I wanted my game console to do a lot more than just play games. Well, you, sir, are not a gamer, so get the fuck out. But, he said, but I also want my games to take full advantage of the Xbox One hardware. Well, you're going to have to wait 2-3 years before that gets happening. Anyway, after all, it is a game console. Actually, no, correction, it's a multimedia system. A games console is a console that just plays games. PS4 is more of a game console, but let's be brutally honest, even if you're a Nintendo hater. Nintendo is the only true video game console maker left. Period. Because that's all they do, is make consoles. Sony does their TVs and crap, Microsoft does PCs and stuff, and so forth. Xbox One is a multimedia system. It's not a game console. Anyway, what do you think? Would you rather Microsoft ditch the Kinect entirely? Which I will say yes, I do wish that they did, which would lower the price down to $400. Then he says, if it means better resolution and smoother frame rate. Again, I've already corrected you. Kinect is not the issue. That 10% power difference is not the issue for the reasonings of games being at 720p and not 60 frames per second. It's because of the 3 separate operating systems the Xbox One has, and other little hiccups and bumps in the architecture of the system. You yourself said it, or actually I said it. You don't reach the full power of a system at launch. So you really think, by your logic, by this guy's logic, he's saying that games right now on Xbox One's launch are using 90% of their power, of the system's power, and that other 10% is why they can't reach 1080p 60 frames per second. So let me get this straight. You're saying you guys say Xbox One is more powerful than Wii U, then you say 90% of the Xbox One's power is being used, but it can't reach 1080p 60 frames per second, yet Wii U is weaker, yet it can reach 1080p 60 frames per second. Exposed. X-fucking exposed. Silly people. Silly people. Anyway, or are you willing to sacrifice that in order to enjoy the multimedia functions? Now, it's kind of pointless for me to be doing this video. It's just kind of a random video to do, but no, I wouldn't even get the Xbox. I don't care for the multimedia features. I wouldn't get an Xbox One for the multimedia features. I don't want them on the Wii U. I don't want them on anything. I don't even really need them on a PC. All I need on PC is YouTube for multimedia crap. But Then he says, and by the way, simply turning off the Kinect doesn't work. It's programmed into the Xbox One to use some of its power for the Kinect, no matter if you have it plugged in or not. I've told you people that before. People are like, no, they changed it. You don't have to always have it on. It's always on a constant state. Even if you have it shut off, it's still in a very low power state, still sapping some energy from the Xbox One, and it'll always be on. Now, I just had to do a video on this because it's just so sad, where people are just like, we want fucking more power when they don't even have the system out already. It's just ludicrous. And when people don't understand and then they make up shit, that's just annoying. And when people lack common sense and think, oh, 90% of the Xbox One's power is the reason why, or it's only using 90% of its power, and that's why we have Xbox games, or Xbox One games at 720p and 30 frames per second. No, as I've said before, it's because of 3 operating systems and a whole bunch of hidden little hiccups and bugs in the system. What have I been saying since before the system launched? Which now we can actually say Xbox One is now a current gen system, so now there are no more next gen systems. Every one of them is now current gen. Wii U, PS4, Xbox One. But what have I been saying for the past, few months now? On every once in a while on my videos, there would be bugs on Xbox One. And then we had that in that video about reasons not getting the Xbox One, I think it was. Was that my video I did? Where I talked about... Oh no, it was talking about the launch lineups. That's what it was. How Forza is like the only game 1080p 60 frames per second on the Xbox One. Oh, actually there was like an indie game or whatever. But a simple game like frickin' Killer Instinct doesn't. It's not an issue of power. It doesn't need power. You could give it, futuristic technology from 20 years in the future from now. That wouldn't help. It's the developer unable to achieve what they wanted with the game. Not because of power, not because of specs, but because there's a problem with the system. It's just that simple. So I think that's going to about do it for this video. I could go through and show you a bunch of other people's posts. You know what, let's do that for a sec. This guy says, yes, I would, right off the bat. There's another Xbox guy talking about he wants more power, more power, more power, more power, more power. And I gotta say, it's... with Sony and Microsoft literally focusing on power, it feels like they're just trying to either ignore Nintendo and battle it out with themselves, or they're trying to partner up in a way where they're trying to crush Nintendo out and squeeze them out and shove them to the side. But whatever, let's continue on here. Didn't Microsoft say they unlocked that 10% for devs? I want Kinect to grow. You actually like Kinect, what a weird person. And as for that, unlock the 10% for devs, that was some random rumor from a long time ago. No, Kinect is a cool feature, which will get better and better as time goes on. Oh, so you're saying the original the original Kinect got better as time went on, right? No. How about the Vita? People thought, oh, it would get better, it would destroy the 3DS as time goes on. No. Nobody, well, the mass majority of people don't want a Kinect. Nobody really wants it. It doesn't add much of anything. Now, of course, there's going to be some games where it's like, oh, we might get 2 games in the entire 8th generation of the Xbox One that actually use the Kinect well. But Kinect is just so unnecessary and unneeded, it's not even funny. This guy says, I'm not really a Microsoft fan, but surely they compensated for this during the initial design of the hardware. Yeah, right. Microsoft compensating? That's not their style. Even though it does use some of the dedicated processing power and RAM, much like the DVR features, it isn't a new issue to developers, and the system should have more than enough processing power to compensate for it, and RAM. Of course. But like I said, issues with the system. That's why the reason of games not being at 1080p 60 frames per second. Given time, it will become even less of an issue, of course. I've already said that. On the 360, Kinect was causing a real hit because the system was designed before Kinect, and there wasn't many resources to spread out, blah 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 blah. This guy says the Kinect will be smashed as soon as I open the box. High five to that guy. I don't want Kinect, never have wanted it. I just want a gaming console, which, then why wouldn't you get a Wii U or a PS4? But whatever. Except for, I'm pretty sure the Kinect, or the Xbox One won't even run games without the Kinect sensing you're in the room, or being turned on, so if you break that, you probably won't even be able to use your system. Anyway, if I want to turn on the TV, I'll simply reach over and press the power button on my remote. How fat and lazy? I think that's supposed to be are we? Getting in America today that we can't reach a foot to turn on the TV. My Kinect will never be connected to my Xbox. Or Xbone. He's getting an Xbone, and he even calls it an Xbone. Why? I don't know, whatever. If you think Kinect is to turn your TV on so you don't have to reach, may I suggest you reconsider your future? Yeah, I ditched the Kinect. I'd never cared much for it or the motion control stuff in general. Hey, Wii remotes with, like, shooters are amazing. Besides PC with a mouse, when it comes to consoles, Wii remotes for shooters is the best controls. There's no argument there. Even the PlayStation Move, even though it was a stolen idea from the Wii remote, but it's still better than Kinect. Everything's better than Kinect. I like the vision of the future, but we're not quite there yet. I would rather have a console powerful enough for 3D first. Well, you realize you'd have to, unless you're talking about that creates 3D. Because wait, the 3DS does 3D. So what are you talking about? Making your TV do 3D? Or are you talking about every single game is in 3D, and when you use it on a 3D TV, every single game you're playing is in 3D? That's hard to see what he's talking about there, because he wants a console powerful enough for 3D, but the 3DS does 3D, so I don't know what he's talking about. Anyway, I guess that's gonna do it for this video. I've babbled on and on and on and on and on. So, this will be Original Blood Ace. As always, stay tuned. More videos coming soon. The next video I do will be an unboxing video, I suppose, of Mario and Zelda. Stay tuned for that.